Good morning. My name is Representative John Andrews. I represent House District 79 in Western Maine, and I am here today to speak about the lawsuit against Governor Mills, Speaker Talbot Ross, and Senate President Troy Jackson. There's something rotten in Augusta. Democrats have complete and total control of the House and Senate, as well as Blaine House. Majority Democrats even get to pick the Secretary of State, Treasurer, and Attorney General. Essentially, the Maine Democratic Party makes the law and interprets the law, all while being backstopped by Governor Janet Mills. This is why we have constitutional protections, to stop the abuses of a tyrannical majority. This is also why the concept of separation of powers exists. It's in the Maine State Constitution under Article 3, Section 1. The legislative, judicial, and executive are all separate and co-equal branches of government. One branch cannot tell the other branch what to do. These branches must function independently for our government to work. They must not bully other branches or collude together. Unfortunately, the latter is what we have going on in Augusta. The legislative branch and the executive branch colluded together to subvert the intent of Maine's Constitution. This is an extremely dangerous thing. So much so that I would call it a constitutional crisis. Representative Shelley Rudnicki, Representative Randall Greenwood, and the nonprofit Respect Maine are suing the governor, the speaker, and the Senate president in an attempt to find an answer to this constitutional crisis from the judicial branch. Respect Maine is a nonprofit dedicated to holding the powerful accountable and faithful to their constitutional obligations. The plaintiffs are represented by Carl E. Wook, Esquire, and Stephen C. Smith, Esquire. They are both under the banner of Steve Smith Trial Lawyers, and they come out of Augusta. Now, make no mistake, this suit is driven by citizens who have had enough of our powerful leaders in Augusta overstepping their authority. We've had enough of them breaking their oaths to the Constitution, and we are bringing them to court on it. All we are asking for is for Governor Mills, Speaker Talbot Ross, and Troy Jackson to respect Maine and her constitutions. Our suit challenges the constitutionality of the special session convened by Governor Janet Mills, arguing that it lacks an extraordinary occasion as required by the Maine State Constitution. Our founders pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to build this country and establish the rule of law based on constitutional restrictions and principles. We are not a monarchy, we are a constitutional republic, by and for the people, and that must be respected. The state constitution declares that there are rules by which our government must operate within to be legal. It is our duty as citizens and legislators to call out violations by rogue government and have the matter adjudicated in a court of law when the government violates the Constitution. And that is exactly what we are doing with this lawsuit. I thank you all for being here today, and I'm going to hand the mic over to, with a 2/3 budget, it becomes law as soon as it's enacted. With a partisan budget, you need 90 days from the sine die adjournment until the end of the fiscal year, which is July 1st. So that to pass a partisan budget, they need to adjourn 90 days in advance of the new fiscal year. And that's what happened. They adjourned us early to meet the 90-day threshold. And then the governor ordered the legislative branch back in under a hazy and, extraordinary occasion that nobody is really sure if it actually exists, which is why we're bringing the case.